What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be kind of a stopgap video between yesterday's long-range meta video for Verdansk and tomorrow's long-range or main primary weapon meta video for Rebirth. So today is going to be some gameplay from me. I got to play with JGOD yesterday and a couple of my awesome friends, poorchris and Peanut Hot Dog. I will link all their channels below, obviously, so you guys can check them out. They're seriously amazing. We got just a crazy win streak going. I think I had like an 11.3 KD for a 20 game span at one point, which was my new peak for Rebirth. So I was absolutely frying yesterday. And yeah, let me talk about the guns I was using here, and then we will get into the gameplay. So you guys know me. You know I like to experiment. So I have tried, like I said, pretty much every gun on Rebirth and Verdansk. And I've fallen in love with the Ram 7 on Rebirth. I tried the same build on Verdansk and it does not work for me, just because there's such long range engagements and there's guns with just no recoil like the Stoner and the Krig. So it doesn't work well there, but on Rebirth, when the engagement distances are closer up, the Ram 7 absolutely fries. So I'm comparing it to the Farah here because they have really, really similar TTKs. The build that I'm in love with for the Ram is Monolithic Suppressor, Ranger Barrel, 50 round mag, Operator foregrip, and Scout Combat. So this one might strike you as weird. Scout Combat is listed as 3.25x in game, whereas the VLK is listed at 3x. So if you're playing on PC and you're on affected FOV, the 3x VLK will have dramatically less zoom than the Scout Combat, even though in game they're listed just 0.25x apart, and that's because anything above 3x basically goes to independent FOV settings. So you get tons more zoom with the Scout than you get with the VLK, and because of that, it is a lot more horizontal bouncy, which is why most people will be using a commando foregrip. But in order to keep up with these Cold War guns with their better mobility, I use the operator because that doesn't affect your mobility whatsoever. So the Ram's already going to be pretty slow without that. If you put the commando on there, it's just like running through mud compared to the Cold War guns. And I just like to experiment, and I do think the Ram 7 is a very viable gun. You'll see in this gameplay how quickly it just melts people. Like I said, very similar TTKs to the Farah. So ADS times, the Ram has slightly better ADS times than a meta Farah. Better fire rate, so it flinches the enemy more. It does have that smaller mag. You only get 50 rounds instead of 60, and the Farah has a slower fire rate, so you're going to get quite a bit more damage per mag. But I don't really... A lot of people talk about this. When I was playing with JGOD, he said he didn't like the 50 round mag. That was one of the reasons he didn't like the Ram. I don't have a problem with it. It seems completely fine to me. I don't have an issue with that. Movement speed is going to be better on the Farah just because it's Cold War gun, but you do get really good ADS movement speed with the Ram 7, which is really nice. That actually makes a big difference in a lot of gunfights, as we've found with like the Raider stocks for the Cold War guns. And then the other stats, you know, pretty standard. Bullet velocity is a little higher on the Ram, but that doesn't really matter that much on Rebirth. As far as TTK goes, we're going to look at headshots first. This is the one spot that the Ram 7 wins, and it's not by much. It's just 421 versus 456, so that's 30 milliseconds faster for the Ram. But if you look at neck or chest, these are all going to be the same because they're all... It's just the 5.56 damage profile for both these guns, so they have exactly the same TTKs. You can see the Farah wins by just a little bit, wins by about 25 milliseconds everywhere. And then out at range, it wins by a little bit less, about 15 milliseconds out of range. So they're very comparable, very similar weapons. But with the Axial Arms 3X, that is now the same as a VLK. So for the Cold War guns, we only have the Axial Arms 3X or the 4X. And the 4X has so much zoom that it's like unusable on Rebirth, and it has a really bad sight picture. It has really big bezels, and it's just not easy to use compared to some of the Modern Warfare optics. But on the Modern Warfare guns, we have optics that are just past that affected threshold. So we can get more zoom without having so much zoom that it's like a sniper scope like the 4X on the Cold War guns. So that's why I really like the Scout Combat. That 3.25x is actually still usable on ARs. I really wish we had an optic like that on the Cold War guns. But they're just not going to make that change, I'm sure. So you'll see in the gameplay, specifically, I love that optic. Operator foregrip really reduces the recoil a lot in tandem with the Ranger barrel, the longest barrel. You get really manageable recoil with the Ram 7, which is actually really surprising. I was really surprised by this result. But for SMG, I was just using the meta OTS. The OTS is unbeatable right now, and it pairs perfectly with the Ram because the Ram's so good, you know, mid-range and out. The OTS is fantastic, you know, close range. So it's just the perfect gun to pair with any sort of moderately aggressive AR right now. So it's just a perfect Rebirth loadout. But let's get into the gameplay. 16 kill Rebirth win with JGOD, poorchris, and Peanut Hot Dog. So I was just in the process of actually editing this video together, and I noticed that I was not using the OTS. I actually just ran tempered with amp, the amp pistol. Obviously, I made that video a couple days ago about how ridiculously good it is, and I still think that's true. And you'll see in this video again, it just can melt people, and it makes no sense. It has great mobility, great TTKs, fast reload time, good ADS times, good sprint to fire times. There's just very little reason to even pick up an SMG besides the OTS. The OTS obviously is worth getting because it just melts people. But yeah, it was just Ram 7 with the amp pistol, and same build that I pinned in the comments on my original amp video.
12 cents.
Yep.
It makes no sense. I think I might do the 120 mag on the stoner when I actually do it, because 120's like 75's cool, but you just have to reload, and 120 would just down thirst.
Yeah, I always use the 120. I feel like it's the best option.
I always debate back and forth, like if the reload's fast enough, you know.
The reload's pretty good, even with
cancel with the stoner, like you can do with the MG.
No, not well. You can, but it's not the same. It's not like
not as helpful,
2 seconds. Yeah. There are no guns. What's going on here? I'll take it.
Popping an armor box.
Oh, they're all above, huh?
Multiple on me, yeah.
I thought that was a friend, but that was a foe.
Second. Oh, they just res?
Oh, damn,
One like on the bridge, the main, like top
they're
floor,
all
but on
dead.
the roof. Okay.
They're all dead, yeah.
I keep forgetting to put on the M.
Away from us. Everyone's
Me
away
too,
from us.
man.
There's a gas mask.
Buy whatever you need, I got loadout.
Coolio.
I just need your friendship,
And I
Chris.
got a
I'm
UE.
gonna use the long, but you know what else is funny? Like I'm gonna use the AK-3X, and people are gonna be like, I'll be like, yep, this is sleeper gun. It's good for range, but you know, more skill. And people are like, I've been using it for 6 months.
Every time, like that YouTube comment I sent you the other day, and then followed up by his tweet. That was so funny. He had to have been like 10 years old, but still, it was still funny.
Yep. But that stuff's so funny how that stuff happens.
Yeah.
It's like,
armor
yes,
box.
every gun gets used, even the Dragunov.
I knew about this
It's
before.
like,
It was
does
cool.
like, does
I
someone
was like,
want,
it wasn't good though before.
does
Yeah.
someone want like a special shout out? Like, hey, here's this random guy who told me.
Oh, sometimes they'll be like, so and so
Before I
used it. That's what happened with the type, because people used it 2 months before because it was floor loot.
Yeah.
But for me, I don't watch enough YouTube and like actually like use the weapon. Like if let's say Swag puts out a video saying DMR's OP, I'm not gonna go, oh, you know what, it might be OP. It's just that's YouTubers, you know. They all make content.
I feel like my movement's really getting better recently. Like my up close movement. That's what Rebirth's really good for, is like reps on close range fights.
Yeah. After all that time I took off, that's what I needed to get good at again. Now I feel like I'm
Guess.
getting in a groove.
Yeah.
Picked up the riot shield. It shouldn't be floor riot shields, I promise. This should not be.
Yeah, it's pretty dumb.
Luckily, I had my nades. If I had throwing knives there, no bueno. Oh, there's a guy up top there. Here's RPG. Watch out, the guy on top.
Chris, you're such a bully.
Sorry. I can't help it.
God, the amp is just silly. It makes no sense.
I just
got
knew.
RPG,
Yeah, because
bro.
your ass died and bled out, so I knew where your teammate was.
Bully that guy for me, Tony.
Sorry, I looked at the mini map.
Dude, he threw a mine on me and I selfed it. I blew myself up.
I'm dying.
This guy's out here like Jigsaw, wanna play a game? Just torturing me.
People are so fucking with that stuff. How did he know? I think I'm gonna push up here.
I can see this guy shooting me. Where is this coming from?
Why do I hear the audio? Oh, he's on the roof. I got him. Easy kill. There's so many people here, and I don't feel confident with my.
And not even know I'm here. Like, he should have just jumped down and tried to kill me, but he's like not even reacting to my presence.
The guy's
He definitely has his sound off.
Watch this. He might jump
Did you
off.
precision it?
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna climb up. They jumped off, I think.
Yeah, 100%. I down myself, bro. I'm throwing.
No.
I know.
I'm looking. Hold on, get killed by this guy in the cutty. Okay, I might. I'm gonna this way.
Yeah, we need assistance, man.
Thank you. Yep, in the cutty. We're down here. Wow. Oh, I got one down. Oh. Where'd that guy go? His teammates on the other side.
Mask if you need it.
He's coming close.
I don't
He's still
see him.
left of me.
A left
Yeah,
of
he's
you.
right in front of me. Right in front of me.
If I could get out a window, I would be there instantly.
This is a terrible building to try to push.
Yeah, he's in the next building over.
Trying to
With,
buy UAV.
with the buy. I mean, with the bounty.
Bombs.
Nice.
Did you see where his boys pinged at or no?
I didn't.
No.
I'll get a UE.
Oh, I'm gonna go get this contract over here since it looks free. How did they know where I was? It's like, bro.
No.
One of the times I played, somebody's like, "This dude's cheating 100%." It was like, you knew exactly where I was and I had ghosts. It's like you pinged me. Like people legit don't know. They got like 3,000 hours in the game. Never. You got so many people on you over there.
Really? Double bouncing Betty? You're a
Nice,
dog.
good job.
I'm with you, Peanut. Just
The
because you
problem for
said
me with
double
the Ram-
more.
It's good when you're hitting
Triple
those
bump.
shots, but the low damage per mag really holds it back for a ranged weapon.
I don't mind
No,
it
no,
too
no,
much.
Wait.
Ow. Oh, he's right there.
I'm trying to push from this side. I have another UAV.
Wait.
I'm coming around for a flank.
Let's get him, Peanut.
Be able to hit the guy in the back.
I don't have any plates. I'll be bait.
Oh, you already got him.
Away.
Oh, on the roof.
They switch sides. Dude, these guys.
I
play like
downed him, but I couldn't thirst him.
drums.
Okay.
Behind you, Chris. Behind you, Chris.
I had nothing I could do. I was stunned.
His boys inside this little hut.
Hostile dropping into the area. Watch the sky.
Pull out your heartbeat for somebody else, bro. I'm
Nice,
gonna
Peanut.
keep these dudes. Ride those dudes. I played that perfectly. This gun is still pretty good. Ooh, bold zipping up.
Yeah, I didn't see anything on beat. They are up here though. They're on the other side.
Okay, I'm gonna zip up behind.
Yep, you're good. Should be safe.
Your payout limit has increased. Friendly UAV overhead.
Get extra plates, Peanut, if you need them.
No, I'm good.
Nice try. And he's down. Then there's still the squad over here.
Supply run contract. Let's get it done.
They're actually landing on the roof there.
Enemy dropping into the AO. Gas is inbound.
Taking fire here.
There's still two up. I don't know where the other one went.
Target down. Friendly UAV overhead.
I pinged him.
5 to go. Bring home the win.
Got him.
Let's go. That was a,
GG's.
that was a
That was a solid
GG.
game.
Yeah, that was good.
We're frying.
Yep. I tell you what, man. I tried to use it on Verdansk. It doesn't work, but on Rebirth, the RAM feels pretty
Yeah,
freaking
it's
good.
just the 80 to 100 meter plus range.
Yeah.